How dare you? How dare you?
Yes.
Can we start? Can we start? Can we start? It's nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
You know, this is the Queen's world. We're just living in it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is.
That's true.
That's fine. That's totally fine. How are you today, Raymond?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really well. Really well.
You look really good.
Thanks. Yeah, just keeping tabs on the old ferry situation. Make sure I can get back to the mainland, and we'll be back down to civilization at some point.
That's good. I think Bill was the one that called in those threats just so you couldn't get off the island. That's just my opinion.
They're not threats when they come from the Queen. They're promises.
That's true. Click clack, motherfucker.
Click clack.
Hello, Billiam.
Boys,
Queen.
how's it going?
Okay. First, of course, allow me to apologize for any type of scheduling mishaps or anything that.
Yeah, we better hurry the fuck up. It's a good game. It's my fault. I understand.
Okay, we will hurry the fuck up. Okay, fine.
We apologize. Sorry.
We apologize. I'm sorry, Queen. This is the
Queen,
Simba Sports Show.
let's just talk like this. Bruins game starts in 30 minutes.
Simba Sports Show Friday headlines. It's June. Welcome to the show. Fucking Queen.
No, when I saw it, dude, I came back to my desk and I literally, there was like 15 texts and I scrolled up a little bit and I just saw the time and I was like, okay. And then I left where it was
time.
I thought it was a time, but when I reread it back, it was like 17, whatever. So I mean, at work, I use military time, so I just fucking read it. Oh, 7 or whatever. I even know it's not, it wasn't that time, but still. So
what's 17:15 in military time?
5 o'clock. You
5:15. No, but I just saw the 7, so I just thought it was a fucking. I was like, whatever, I'm good.
Okay, okay, you.
Welcome to the bottom of the totem pole, bitch.
Speaking of the bottom, nope, damn it. This is great. White Birch Brewing. That's a segue. White Birch Brewing, of course. This is the Simba Mind Sports Show, so you know it's brought to you by White Birch. This is the Friday show, so you know we're drinking. Bill's smoking. That's what he does. If you're not drinking White Birch, there's a problem. Head on down to the brewery. Okay, excellent. Oh, those white owls? No,
it's a palm leaf.
Oh, excellent. Even better.
Like a palm tree leaf.
Nice. Well, you could probably head on down to the brewery and smoke that outdoors. They got great outside seating. They got great indoor seating. Right down there in Nashville. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Get on down there. Get your merchandise. Get your beers. Get your sours. Get your IPAs. The weather is gonna straighten up here. It's gonna warm up. It's been tasty. It'll get a little bit better.
It's going to be at 90 all weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one. So go get the good stuff. And if you can't get down to the brewery, then get it at your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them Simple Minds boys sent you. All right. We record this on Thursday. Obviously, it's game 3 of the Bruins. That's what's all on our minds right now. But we can't start there. We have to start with the breaking news, the bombshell that hit Boston sports yesterday. And I know that, basketball is lower on the list than the fucking palm leaf that he's smoking right now in Billy the Queen's eyes. But I'm sorry, Bill, when the GM of the Celtics retires, quote unquote, after 18 years, we're going to have to talk about it, especially with the hubbub around it and Brad Stevens being fired and then promoted all in one fell swoop. Billy Rambles, try not to take every single one of the points on the email that you haven't read yet. I just want. I just
got home. I'm sorry.
I just want your overall first impressions when Woj busted that out yesterday morning, and right after, the first one was Danny Ainge is expecting to, whatever it said, not, continue his tenure as Celtics president. Not 20 minutes later, Brad Stevens is expected to take the role of president and look for the new coach. I mean, it's been being called a seismic move. I didn't think of it. I honestly kind of expected it. I won't go too far into it, but this is big. This is a big move for the Celtics.
My first impressions, it would be like the first time Ray got a boner, and then 20 minutes later, it just went soft. That's how I felt about this. I wanted
without completion.
Yeah. That's how disappointed I was. And it just, I wanted Stevens gone. If you're gonna get rid of Ainge too, like I was happy to hear Ainge gone. I think we've all been basically calling for it. I've been calling it for a few weeks now. I want total and utter change, top to bottom. I did not expect Brad Stevens, who has no front office experience in the NBA, which also scares me, and him moving into the GM role and a prominent role now. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I really hate it. I wanted him gone. Now he's burnt out in coaching. Dude, he's barely older than me. Shut the fuck up. You got burnt out by the bubble, dude. He's not even he's 42, 43-year-old coach. Like, you can't be fucking burnt out. Come on. And I just think it was an excuse. And I think you had said it too, Rich. They're owing him about $40 million. You're gonna eat that.
We don't know the contract, but we know
coaches get every single fucking penny of that deal, even if they get another job. The other team doesn't pay for it.
Okay, well, all right. I'm gonna stop you here because you're on the verge of Billy Rambles. We'll get into a little bit of that. Ray, your initial reaction when you heard it Wednesday?
Happy. The Celtics need to change. We've been saying that for a while. We've all been calling for Brad's head for a couple of years now. So it was nice to see that they got rid of Danny. I think it's more of the what he's been saying on the golf course kind of thing, and what came out 2 years ago, like the whole racist thing. Like the players, he doesn't really value their opinions. They're kind of like entertainers.
All right, well, let's flesh that out if you're going to bring it up. So there was audio that was brought to light from 2 years ago. This was before George Floyd and Black Lives Matter was around, but obviously
wasn't this big.
That social injustice movement has really taken on a huge life of its own in the last several years. This was before
especially
that.
in the NBA.
And the question was phrased to Danny Ainge, something about
politics. It was something about politics.
Yeah,
it was the kneeling thing. Remember when it was the same time Trump came out with that? It was all right around there.
This is not in the email, Ray. This was not in the goddamn email. I'm not prepared to speak on it. I can't go Billy off the cups. So the bottom line is what he said was, I don't listen. I basically don't listen to the players and that Hollywood PC drama.
Yep.
And it didn't get any play really back then. And now it is coming on the heels of him saying he hasn't heard anything racist in 26 years, coming on the heels of Kyrie saying all Boston fans are racist. So let's not go into that any deeper than we need to. That's what you were talking about.
Yes, sir. So I think that's the reason why he is retiring, stepping down, whatever. I think it's just a black eye for the Celtics organization. So Wick got rid of that. Having Brad come into the front office, being the president of basketball operations, terrible move. He coached at a small university at Butler in Indiana. So he has really no getting these superstars or gauging these athletes. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a bad look, but I think it's just going to be a transition piece for him because he's owed so much money. So yeah, I think it's a 1 or 2 year thing, and then he'll be gone, going back to college or to another irrelevant team.
I hope someone picks him out of the front office. I mean, it sounds like, something this could be a one and done.
Scratching your tit on the camera. Nice
belly.
belly.
What do I? Hey, this is fucking 187 pounds, baby. I'm fucking skinny.
All right, whatever. What were you saying? All I saw you scratching your nip.
Sorry, it fucking itched, dude. You have to go under, not over.
I guess.
Always.
Anyways, I just hope someone like a coach needs a coach in the league, and then you could trade him like Doc Rivers got traded with first round pick. Anything, just get him off the books, trade his contract, trade all that shit. It's happened in the NBA before. He's gonna get that urge to go coach again. He got burnt out by the bubble. He's still a young coach. He had some success in the NBA. Don't look at his playoff record, but he's had success in the NBA. So I mean, again, if he was on the open market, he'd be the first coach people are after. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, that's the thing about Brad Stevens. I know that this has been a heavy fire Brad train, and he probably deserved to lose his job because he probably lost the locker room. It was clear they weren't playing for him, but let's call it what it is. Same thing for Danny. These guys were good at their jobs for a really long time. I mean, Brad Stevens has slightly under, I think he's 1 or 2 games under 500 in the playoffs. That's with teams with Isaiah Thomas as your best player, who he made into an MVP caliber player at 5'8". He went to the Eastern Conference Finals with overachieving teams 3 or 4 times. He had one bubble team that underachieved, and obviously this past year was awful. So Brad Stevens was a really good coach for the Celtics when they needed him to rebuild their program. Danny Ainge has been a really good GM in his tenure. Bring me someone who's been better. Pat Riley, maybe Sam Presti, but he doesn't have a championship. So in Danny Ainge's tenure, he might have been the best GM in the league. It's a conversation you can have.
Houston, not Houston, but RJ Buford or whatever it was down in San Antonio, right? I forget who, or David Griffin was down there too.
Yeah, I don't
It
even
was-
remember who that, because that team was Pop's team. That's the way I think of it. I
Yeah,
think
but they
everyone
draft.
does.
I mean, if you want to compare,
It's true. No, it's true.
The drafting they did with Ginobili, all those guys, Tony Parker, they
it's-
stashed.
I guess my point is it's a conversation that can be had, and now the whole city of Boston is cheering that Danny Ainge is gone. That was my first initial reaction was, okay, it makes sense. I think it was time for him to go. Burning take here that's been going in the last 24 hours since Danny quit. Danny wasn't fired. I don't think Wick had the balls or the gumption to fire Danny. I also don't think he had the gumption to fire Brad. I think Danny quit, and he was put in a position. And let me tell you why Danny quit. He got burnt out. But
Yeah.
since Kyrie neutered him, it has been a downward spiral. He noticed it. I don't know if he's done with the game of basketball. He's only 62. Obviously, he has some heart shit going on. But he quit. And the reports were, and Tony Maz reported this, that at the trade deadline, they had started talking about it and started looking for his replacement. That's not coming from Wick. You don't if you're the owner of the team, you don't let your GM make a trade with that trade exception if you don't think he's coming back, then if you're not planning to bring him back. So all the dots for me point to Danny said, I quit, and not retire. Those are two different things. He fucking quit on the Celtics because he knew that he couldn't do it. I think he realized that it was beyond him, at least with this team. So we'll see what happens with him moving forward.
Utah next year. Boom.
I think.
Okay, so he bought a place in Utah. We'll see.
Yeah,
You
but
might
he's
be right.
from Utah. He went to BYU.
Yeah.
So hold on.
and he's
I
got
got
sister
one.
wives, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's Mormon. Leave him alone. Anyways, I think one of the biggest thing too is I think the players are
Want
kind
him
of
out.
pissed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the comments that he made where it's like, we're not a championship team. He starts making, or not a championship roster, right? So there's a lot of talk now since yesterday that like the players just fucking started tuning him out. They weren't kind of into listen to anything he was saying. They didn't give a shit. They quit. The team fucking quit.
They quit on the organization. Yes.
Yeah, they did, and that was one of the driving reasons. I mean, yeah, they didn't have a championship team, and or a roster, I should say. And I don't think his comments were that bad. Like it was more like Touch and Rich were talking about this morning. It was more putting emphasis on himself. Like I didn't do a good enough job, but the players took it like as disrespect. So they basically said, "Fuck you." Jaylen Brown, I guarantee, guts that shit out if Ainge doesn't make that shit, because then you have faith. You got to have a GM that's putting faith in you. And those comments with young fucking kids. That's disrespect. The old veterans might see it, but the young kids, that's disrespect to them.
I can go both ways in that, and I also probably think it's why Danny quit, because he's like, either fuck these kids. I can't. When those reports came out that Tatum and the team were upset or felt disrespected by Wick Grossbeck and Denny Ainge's comments and Mike Gorman's comments that they were not playing up to snuff, go look at the tape, fuckbags. You quit. You quit. On your own team, you weren't giving it your all. They were totally in the right to say those things about you. But I understand this is where I'm having a hard time kind of coming to terms with the Brad Stevens and the whole goddamn thing, because I don't want the NBA to be that way, but I know that it is. I don't want the players to have as much control and power as they do, because I think it's leading to a really bad league and a really bad product. It's so soft.
One of the reasons I dislike it, dude.
The Celtics went out with the Nets after they lost and partied in Brooklyn with them.
Was that
after
true?
they lost the
that
series?
was true.
I
heard
think
that
it was
but
confirmed. It might still be rumors, but fuck
Yeah,
it.
I
We
mean,
were in
that's
the
what-
rumor game.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, it's like, dude, they were all dapping it up after you just got ran
Kyrie
over.
disrespected your whole. I know that, again, not to go back to this, but Kyrie disrespected your franchise in a sports way. I know it's not that big a deal. Stomp on the logo. I get it. Don't overreact. I get it. But we've talked about this as a competitor. Like, I'm not okay with that. Like,
me either. That's
even
bullshit.
if you're not that pissed at him, like, don't go dap him up on the court. Like, he was fucking dry humping Rob Williams. Like, come on, guys, show
No, your
something.
recruits.
No, dude, bro, it's like the 07 Patriots partying with the fucking Giants after that Super Bowl at their Super Bowl party. Like, come on, dude. I get it. You're all friends after, but dude, you just went through a series and now you're like best friends. They just fucking ran you over. Have some respect for yourself and leave these fucking guys alone. Now you're partying with all these baby back fucking bitches out there in Jersey or where the fuck Brooklyn, dude. That pisses me off more than fucking anything, truthfully.
So
It just shows you the type of character we have on Celtics team.
Ray, let me tie that back into the events of Wednesday and Danny Ainge getting fired or quitting and Brad Stevens being given the job. I think it's money. But I also, again, this all goes back to Wick. This is what not a lot of people are talking about in the media. Wick Grossbeck came out and said, these are our guys. I love these guys. And I think that's true. Like, we've given him shit in the past for being a fanboy and not having the balls to make the right moves. But now all of a sudden we want to slam him for making this move. No, you can't really have it both ways in my eyes. I think that he loves Brad Stevens, but I also think he's probably not a dumb man and noticed that the team
Team's not
needed
responding.
change.
Yeah.
But I think he honestly respects and loves Brad Stevens as a basketball person and wants him in his organization. And, oh, by the way, I owe him $40 million.
Yeah.
So when Danny Ainge came up to him and said, I'm done, they went out in the league and they looked for front office people. That's reported. That's fact. And they landed on bringing Brad Stevens up here, probably because of the way the season finished, Ray.
Oh,
Like, if they went out and they competed and made a comeback and the players look rejuvenated, thank you. Do you think Brad Stevens is not the coach of this team?
No, I think
Like,
no matter what, I think honestly, I think that Wick is listening to Jason and Jalen and seeing what they want, and I don't think Brad Stevens is part of their plan. So I think it's actually starting to come with the ownership listening to these players, because it is a players' league. No matter how we think about it, it's a players' league. So I think Wick's listening to them and saying, you know, what would you guys like going forward? Danny out. Boom. Okay, we'll do that. Now, Brad, I don't think he's going to be the coach. We need someone that's been in the league before, played. We need a players' coach, blah, blah, blah. Well, Brad, like you said, still beloved by Wick. I'll give you a position. Wait till you find something, or we can trade you, or you find a college coaching gig that's more deserving for your title. Boom, there you go. So I think that's what's happening now. I think it's actually the Jays are actually getting their way.
Yeah, it does smell a little bit fishy. You know, it's not unprecedented. Riley did it. Ainge did it. Ainge went from coaching
A day after the season ended. That's the crazy part.
Well, the Celtics picked Danny out of Phoenix. They picked him out of the Phoenix organization. And
I'm just saying how fast this is going.
He coached them, and then he moved upstairs.
Yeah,
I think
know.
he was just like
a
low-level GM guy. But yeah.
It's not terribly. Yes, I understand. So the other thing to take into consideration is the Celtics organization, the way that they're run, the way they like to run. They like to keep it in sync. I think the idea of firing their head coach and GM on the same day and then going on a total search to completely flip their entire organization was not something the Celtics were going to do. It's just completely something that they've never done. Now, and that's all to say that I don't think Brad Stevens does not have the end all be all say like Danny Ainge did. He might have the title, but he doesn't have it. Wick Grossbeck's going to have, and who's the other guy? Pagliano.
Yeah, isn't he like a senator or some? He was in something like that, isn't he? Yeah.
Either way, he's I don't know if he's technically minority owner, but he's certainly not Wick. He's the face of the franchise in terms of the ownership. So it's going to be Wick. It's going to be Mike Zarin, who's still there. Austin Ainge is the leader in the scouting department. They're going to keep all of the coaching staff that wants to stay. It's Brad's coaching staff. He's not laying those guys off.
No.
And whoever they hire, it's just going to be a melding of what's there versus what's coming in. My question is, I think Wick likes Brad, so I think he's going to give him some real responsibility. My question is, does Brad, fuck the experience, whatever. I think he's a great basketball mind. I think he can go ID what needs to be done. Does he have the balls to do it? Does he have the balls to go, hey, Marcus, peace out, dude. You've been a fucking thorn in my side for 6-8 years. You need to go. Jalen says you need to go. Peace. Can he go negotiate a trade for Kemba Walker's shitty contract, the worst contract in the league? Minus Gordon Hayward, Glass Gordon out there.
I would take that contract right now over Kemba. I don't fucking care.
Isn't that the biggest question though? Can Brad do the job? How much of the job is he expected to do? We'll get into the coach here, and then we'll finish up on who the coach should be. But in terms of just the work, like, okay, sensationalizing move. Danny Ainge is gone. Brad Stevens is now the president. Now he has to do the work. The biggest question is, can he?
Gee golly, guys, I think I'm going to have to trade your contract. Fuck you. All right. Sorry there, Marcus. Yep, you can come back. No problem. You can't have the balls to do this, man. This is not his job for him. This is not going to go well.
We'll see. Bill, you have any thoughts on the next coach?
It's got to be a player, ex-player. You know, Evan Turner, no. I don't care what Jason Tatum's saying. I really think...
I kind of think that was a joke. Sorry to interrupt you, but I kind of think that was a fucking joke.
It probably was.
Turner has hinted that he wants to come back and play. So
yeah. No, I mean, either way,
Yeah,
I
got you.
like a Sam Cassell. I know he's been a coach around the league. I think he's been on Rivers staff too recently. And
He's been sorry to keep interrupting you, but give you the facts. He's been a coach since after the '08 Celtics won.
Mhm.
He's been an assistant on staffs.
did the Celtics hire him?
Yes.
Yeah, he went to
He coached with Doc, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and I think he's in Philly with Doc right now.
Yeah.
Like I lean more towards him. Chauncey Billups, that's been a name that's been kind of getting steam around the league. If I'm not mistaken, he interviewed with the Clippers or one of the.
I think he's on the Clippers staff.
Yeah, but he interviewed for a couple
Yes.
head coaching jobs. I don't remember. They were big names, the Lakers or some shit. I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, I want a former player. I want a guy, especially a guy like Chauncey Billups or Sam Cassell. Those guys were fucking pricks on the court.
Yeah, I like
And
both
they're going
those.
to be pricks to their players.
They were the number one spots on my list. Ray, I'd like to just quickly revert back to when all this went down and just get the first people on your list. Can you give me the official
wasn't the
bottom
only
of the
one.
totem pole
I
of
wasn't
dumb?
the only one.
Just the official bottom of the totem pole of dumb hierarchy of the next Boston Celtics coach.
I wanted
Just
Kevin
tell
Garnett.
us-
I wanted Kevin Garnett.
Did you hear did you see like what he wrote today?
Yeah,
or
it's in the
something?
email.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, God.
They asked him, "Do you want to be a coach?" He went, "Hell no!
Oh,
I want to buy a motherfucking team." That's what it's basically what I said. Just not as cool as Kevin Garnett. When Ray texted me that, this is how I know I have a problem. Like internally, I have an anger problem because when Ray texted me Kevin Garnett and Jason Kidd, I
salty.
physically was fucking angry in my body from just those texts.
so salty. So
Jason
salty.
Kidd better be
Get
a
Jason
fucking
Kidd
no.
off your fucking lips when you're talking about the Celtics coach. Do not let that happen. And Kevin Garnett, yes, I love the guy. I've written couple blogs on bring him into the organization one way or another to be the resident bad motherfucker that gets in these people's faces, Jason Tatum. But no, he's not a coach. He wants to buy a fucking franchise. He's
Let
not
him buy like
coach.
5 or 10% of the Celtics.
That's what
Bring
I've
him on
been-
as a bring us on as a fucking owner, dude. That'd be sick. You want him in there? Go. But
Can I throw one more? Can I throw
Lloyd
one more? at you?
Pierce is gaining steam, right? I don't know much about him, but
He's
he's
failed in Atlanta. He's had some really nice things to say about the Celtics on NBA TV today.
yeah. That,
It happened to
Weird.
be on TV.
I knew he played coach in Atlanta. I just didn't know when. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know much about a lot of these guys. I just
don't
want to
either.
form a player. That's all I
Okay,
want.
well, let me throw some other ones at you that don't fit this bill at all. 2 more of these that I just think would be cool. Becky Hammond and Carol Lawson.
Yeah, they were mentioned on the radio this morning.
Becky Hammond's a fucking beast down in San Antonio right now.
I guess the players love Carol Lawson.
They
when she
love
was
Carol
here.
Lawson.
They
and
love
she
Becky
got-
Hammond too.
And their season got canceled this year for the women's basketball. So I mean, they said it would check a lot of boxes. So I mean, if they,
PR's
Scal
dream right
predicted
there.
it. Brian
Yeah,
Scalabrine
that was Scal,
predicted
yes.
it that it would be
And
Carol
then-
Lawson.
I heard it on the radio this morning too. But anyways, yeah, it's all coming from the same shit. But yeah,
I think
mean,
that'd be
I don't know
fucking
enough.
cool.
I don't know enough about her, but if the players respect her and Becky,
Marcus Smart.
Becky
Don't tell me
Hammond,
nothing, bitch tits.
I mean, Becky Hammond could be a real. He should be a real candidate at this point. I mean,
First
she's been
everyone to actually to be head coach on the court, right? I think Pop got himself ejected on purpose. so she could-
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Fucking love
so
Pop.
I happy too. He's the fucking greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, he's
Anyways,
awesome.
but I mean, that would check a lot of boxes. And learning under him, I mean that's and she was a great WWE player, Hall of Famer, great college
Yeah.
player. So I mean,
I take it, and I think
where it's a shot, it's worth.
I think
to
that
give her a
Jalen.
shot.
I think obviously the first woman head coach is going to bring a lot of pressure, a lot of steam. But I think a guy like Jalen Brown is. I agree. I think like a guy like Marcus Smart, you got to get out of here. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's misogynistic or sexist or anything like that. I just think he's a fucking tool. But I think Jalen Brown's kind of like a really good mind, a young, good mind to take that on from a leadership perspective of, yeah, we have the first woman head coach. I respect her and I'm going to do what she says because she's my coach type of guy.
Is he
Where
sleeping?
I don't think that could land in a lot of places in the NBA.
Checking on the game, baby.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get there, Bill. Only a couple more minutes.
Well, that was baseball. Sorry.
Okay, well, we'll get there too quickly. Not a lot to talk about in the Bruins. Last thoughts here. Obviously, we gotta, I think, let a lot of this kind of settle, see what happens, see if they bring anybody else into the front office to help out in that role. But I think, look, Mike Zarin has been pegged as the next guy for like 10 years. People call him a genius around there. He's a name that's getting a lot of
Is he
steam
the
right now.
assistant GM?
Yes.
Okay.
So don't be surprised if Mike Zarin gets the GM title. And
What
Brad
is he?
Stevens
President of basketball operations? Is that
Yeah.
what Steven is now? Okay.
Yeah. So when you get paid $7 million a year, Yeah,
He's
you
got to be
probably-
one of the
You
highest
need a
paid.
title. You need a
He must
title.
be one of the highest paid GMs in the league, or whatever the fuck you
He's
want to
got
call
to
him.
be, man. He's got to be.
How
So-
much was Ainge making?
They don't
I
say
don't know.
it.
I don't think you get that type of information, but all right. Well, yeah, that's a good rehash. I think we're all on the same page there. It's a little bit fishy, but that was a lot of, I think it was a lot of negative talk. I think it's good. I think it's
It's
most-
the shakeup we needed.
I think it's mostly good.
It's
right?
the shakeup we
Especially
needed.
if they land the right coach.
We wanted a shakeup, and that's what we got.
Yeah.
We got a shakeup.
It's a shakeup, but I don't know if it's the right guy. But a shakeup's a shakeup, and maybe it's fucking just start something. We all wanted it, and that's what we got.
Maybe it's like maybe Wick was like, "Hey, Brad, we're gonna put you in the 210 room. We're gonna say you're the president of basketball operations, but you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna sit there, okay?"
Jesus Christ.
That might be the case. That might be the case. I I don't want to follow that up with a real take, but I think Jalen and Jason respect Brad Stevens. I just think they're sick of listening to him.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if you kick him upstairs and they respect him as a basketball guy, that would be why I think they think it might work. We'll see. That's all you can say right now. We'll see. Let's see how it goes.
We'll
Real
see.
quickly, speaking of the next coaching job for Brad, Coach K is retiring. Clap.
Thank
Not
fucking
for him.
God.
Just glad he's gone.
Yep. Thank
Glad
God.
he's gone.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go, Bill.
I mean, 5 championships. He put his obviously
couple gold
his-
medals. Remember when he collapsed on the court head first?
It was awesome.
I don't care. I'm glad he survived. I wouldn't have laughed if he actually died, but very
So-
funny. It was like a slow motion head
Very
first collapse.
Very funny. Yeah, it's hard not to not like Mike Krzyzewski as a Duke head coach, but whatever. He won a lot. He was one of the best at what he did. So, see ya. Bye bye. Brad Stevens, Duke's open up in a year. Okay, quickly, we got to get to the Bruins. Bruins Islanders game 3. Here's the headlines. Craig Smith is playing. Tuukka Rask is playing. DeBrusque is on the third line. Lauzon is back. Let me start with Lauzon, Bill. Do you think, obviously, Kevin Miller didn't travel with the team, so
Yeah, he's
the only
out
guy that's really
next
going to
to-
take his place, I don't think
to-
they're going to bring
Tenorti.
Vakanainen, so I don't think they like Tenorti.
He had a good
Um,
game. What, game 4, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my kind of
Game
thought
5,
was
sorry,
on
game
this
5, yeah.
was that was a brutal mistake by Lauzon. Maybe they know the kid, and benching him will do more harm than letting him get back out there and shake it off.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him because their decore's thin. Their
Well,
decore's thin.
You know what? I mean, like I said, just stack your top 2, bury him on that third D pair, and fucking double, triple shift Charlie McAvoy. 30 minutes, 35 minutes. You're in. That's what you got to do. You're going to take him off the ice a lot. I know they play on the same side, but guys, who's on the I forget his name, but he's down there. Connor Clifton can play both right and left, so you can start pairing him up there. But you need to stack your 2 defensive lines and shut down the top 2 pairing. I know you got good four lines in Islanders, but yeah, you got to bury him,
Yeah.
especially in that third period. If you're close, boom. He don't let him see the ice in the third period, unless he's playing good. But still, short shift him, get him off, get McAvoy on the ice as much as you can, and that's going to be the position you're going to get him there. So,
Right. Thoughts on Craig Smith, Tuukka Rask, Jeremy Lauzon?
Thank God Craig Smith's back. That second line's needing that rejuvenation because DeBrusque held him back. So it's going to be nice that Craig Smith's back. He was already warming up today, so he's ready to go. Tuukka, I mean, short leash, like Bill's been saying all day in the text exchange, short leash. If he looks shaky, get him out early. But Lauzon, I mean, it is what it is. That D's pretty much annihilated right now, so you got to do what you got to do.
Boys, we're gonna bring in a guest to talk a little bit of hockey. Here's Jack Hockey.
Jack Hockey, perfect.
Jack
love-
Hockey to
I
talk
love
a
the
little bit
hair.
about Game 3 of the Bruins.
Nice to meet you guys.
So you're gonna have to talk into the mic. We only have one mic. We'll get your initial takes on Game 3 and moving forward here with the Bruins. Go ahead.
All right. Well, as an avid Bruins fan, I'm just happy to be talking about the subject. But I think they need to play a lot harder, faster, smarter with the puck and decision making. I don't want to single anyone out, but I think we all know.
We know who you're talking about on that one.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting the way Cassidy kind of tinkers his lines. I'd like to see Coyle have someone to play with. Do you guys know where Kuhlman's slotting in?
out.
Oh, he's
He's-
out.
Yeah, so they're slotting Smith's back, and then DeBrusque, Coyle, and Richie's your third, and then Corrali, Wagner, and Lauzon's your fourth. So they're running their full unit that
Yeah,
basically
it's
played with
normal.
Washington. I actually like DeBrusque on that third line. He's got some speed. I know he's, they compared him today on the radio to the pool hockey game, or bubble hockey that just goes up and back, because that's all he could fucking do. But at least
Yeah.
that speed and I mean, he could chip in. He looked good in that third line. He's got 2 goals on there with Coyle and Richie as well. So
Can I
and I
ask you?
fucking hate him.
Yeah, he sucks. Can I ask you a question though? And this is Jack, you can go here. Is it time we stop talking about Jake DeBrusque? At least in these playoffs.
Yes.
I mean, he makes $3.5 million for the next couple of years. He's going to have to be a conversation because he's not worth it. But at least in these playoffs, is it time just to stop talking about DeBrusque? He's just the guy out there, right? Like he's not even as good as Lazar or someone on, being an impact. So Jack, I asked you the question: should we just get him off our mind?
All right. I think I know where you're coming from. I feel like at this point we know exactly what we're going to get from DeBrusque. Like you said, like he goes up and down. He does. I think he skates hard. I do.
So does Ray's mom.
But yeah, like he's going to give you a goal every 4 games, if that might be generous.
Yeah.
That's real generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think he produced a lot in that cup run.
He led the team in goals.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, we've given him plenty of time, but under the right circumstances, the blue moon, the full moon,
Yeah.
I have a little bit of faith. I think maybe he'll figure it out, but because I like the way he's been playing. He's not getting the bounces, but you can tell he's hitting people. He's skating hard. It might come together for him. So maybe just let him be, see what happens.
Did you listen to Sweeney at all? Because he has so much potential. You don't want to get rid of him.
That was a lot of positive take on Jake
That's too much.
DeBrusque.
That's too much positive.
At this point, I'll trade him for a fucking water bottle.
I said this after the last game that he's a 4th line. He may be a 5th line winger. If he wasn't making $3 million, if he didn't score 29 goals in one season, he'd just be another guy. And I think that's what he is. So we'll see moving forward. Okay, quickly we'll let Jack go here. What are your keys to game number 3? Go ahead.
All right. I think it's so simple, but literally just shots on net. I feel like the games we lose, they just don't shoot enough. They're looking for that extra pass. A guy like Krejci who can really move the puck, but still, I just think it's simple. You get shots on net, even if it's a low percentage shot, they add up, and the goalie has to field it. And I honestly think that's the key.
Yeah, and they've been gonna have some juicy rebounds. That's what you got to do. Crash the net. Juicy rebounds, baby.
Juicy.
Juicy.
All right, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Let's
Thank
go,
you, Jack.
Bees. We'll drain a couple here in a minute. We're almost done. All right, boys. Anything else to add to that keys to the game here?
No, too good. Like I said, short leash. He's gonna play good. If he doesn't play good, it's time for Swayman to come in and save the day.
I don't know whose takes were worse, Ray's or Jack's there. They sounded just alike.
I'd go with Ray. All
All
right. Sox won today, Thursday. They pick one up after dropping. This could be
3
the
straight.
slide, man. June is coming hard and June is coming fast, like Ray's mother. At least you didn't get swept. But the game before Thursday is on Wednesday's game. Something called Framber Valdez. Bill, is he on your fantasy team?
I've never heard of him, but
Look him up.
he pitches one every 8 days.
Framber Valdez outdueled Nick Pivetta, who went 6 strong, two earned. You can't.
No, it was his first start up, the second start up the DL too.
My point is, if
Pretty
you're the Red Sox, you can't allow Nick Pivetta to give up 2 runs in 6 innings and lose that game. You had Xander Bogaerts, who was 0 for 21 going in that game, went 0 for 24, finally snapped it today.
With a single? I think he had a single. Oh.
You can't do that. And in that game on Wednesday, your big 4, who, Martinez, Verdugo, Bogaerts, and Devers, went 3 for 15, no RBIs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Bogaerts was 0 for, like we talked about. You're just not going to survive if these guys hit like that. You can't afford slumps out of all 4 of these, or 3 out of the 4 of these, 2 out of the 4 of these guys at the same time. You just can't afford it as a team.
No, especially every game. You can't have this. If you think about Kiki Hernandez is still leading off, he's fucking terrible right now. Hunter Renfroe, Bobby Dahlbach,
I think Santana got the lead off today.
Yeah, now they're platooning Bobby Dahlbach. They have no production out of the basically the 7 through 9, and then basically your leadoff hitter. You have 0 production there. If these guys go in prolonged slumps, you're seeing it. You can't do it in this stretch. You have a decent Yankees team coming in right now that's ahead of you right now, and Tampa looks like the best team in the division, and they're on a fucking roll. So I mean, this is not the time to do it. This is this make or break this stretch right here for them, because You got to be buyers. You need lineup help. Your lineup outside of those guys, even Christian Vasquez, who started hitting early, he's not been great hitting. Good defense, but
We all said that we're going to come back to earth.
like
We said
Devers
that wasn't going to
can't hit
happen.
a fucking fastball right now. Devers cannot hit a fastball right now.
Well, Ray, it's not all bad news. Look, this was the first time they lost the series since the A's, which was on May 11th, something like that. They have only lost 3 series the entire season, so they've either won or split. They've been 9-6 since that May 11th loss. So they're 2 games. Ray, Bill, I don't know where you're getting your information. They're a game and a half up on the Yankees, 2 back on the Rays, and they lead the wild card.
I saw
right
him
now.
yesterday that the Yankees were.
Well, they
ahead
won
of them.
today, so maybe there was
It's
an
probably
update
on
there.
military time, though, Bill, so you probably didn't read it right.
Probably not. No, can I say one thing though? The Red Sox have faced the teams with the most losing records in the league, and that's they played some pretty bad teams. And even Tampa at the time had the word. They swept Tampa where they just got. I think they lost 6 straight, and then they won. So what I mean.
I'll tell you what though, in baseball, the best teams take care of the shit and go 500 against the best. So I said this. I think we said this going into June. If you come out of June, Ray, I think you said this. If you come out of June and you're 500 in June, win. Especially for this team, man. Especially for this team, that's a win. And then you pick up some speed and some ground on some of the other trash. Especially the AL. A lot of the AL is trash.
Yeah. You need a bat though. You got to. Yep. It looks more like instead of pitching, you got to start focusing on your lineup. Start addressing it early. Dahlbuck probably needs to go down. I'd probably flip him and Chavis, give him back up, let him platoon. I mean, he's already platooning with Danny Santana right now at first. Dahlbuck looks fucking lost. He is 0 for 4 today with 4 strikeouts. It's fucking pathetic.
He just might not be the guy. He just might not be.
Just bring him down. I mean, in the COVID short year, he just came on hot. No one really fucking knew him. They figured him out. He can't hit shit. Throw him breaking pitches. He fucking swings at everything. Yeah. And then Hunter Renfroe, you get 1 every 6 games out of him. He'll go 2 for 3 or fucking hit a jack. Right now,
this is just the team though, and we're gonna go late here. And I know the Bruins are on, so let me just put this to you this way: if the Red Sox did not get off to that hot start after being swept by the Orioles, would we be talking about like this? Right. So I read an article that said the Red Sox should be sellers at the deadline. Erod, Evaldi, anybody in that ilk, Garrett Richards, anybody like that, kind of older with a contract, should be looking to be dealt at. Because this team is set up to compete in 2022 and then compete consistently for 10 years in 2023. And I think that's Chaim Bloom's plan. And I don't think he's going to get off that plan. So don't expect help anywhere. And I don't expect to see Duran till September. I don't expect to see Jesus. Sorry, Bill, who's the number 1 prospect? The big
Tristan Cassis, the first.
I don't expect
baseman.
to see that guy.
He's in Double-A, but he can make that jump.
Jake Groom is a name that's been tossed around for years that is making his way up to the mind. I don't expect to see any of these guys until September call-ups because I think that they're looking ahead. And if this team can compete and push for a playoff spot, then it's just gravy for him. It's just gravy for him. And that's with a $198 million roster. That's fucking crazy. And it's disappointing. And if they start a slide here and really going to shit in June, then we will crush them for it. But that's the reality. That's the reality. That's the post Dave Dombrowski reality era that we're in.
Have you backed off your prediction for them? Because I still got them at 82, 83 wins. That just looks like the team right now.
I tell you, I really don't.
Did you have in the World Series?
Shut up. No, I did not. I had the White Sox.
Rich.
No, we had White Sox.
We had White Sox Braves, which also is not looking that great.
Well, White Sox are looking good, though. They're in first place.
I don't totally back off my prediction. I think my original prediction was they should be fighting for a wild card spot, and I think they will do that because I think that the AL East specifically is going to beat the hell out of each other. They're going to keep it close with each other, and the rest of the AL is kind of trash outside of a couple good teams. So I think they can all kind of float. Obviously, if you have a bad injury there in your big 4 or, at this point, if Pivetta goes down, then yeah, you're fucked like anybody else with injuries. But no, I think they'll compete for a wild card. I think that they'll be in the hunt for a wild card.
Quick question for you, Bill. Do you remember during the NFL season when you used to ruin it for Rich and I with the streaming services?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-0 Bruins. Craig Smith goal. Suck.
I know. I just looked it on Twitter. You didn't.
This has been the Silver Mind Sports Show. Friday headlines, June 4th. Happy birthday to my lovely wife.
Happy birthday, Ingrid.
We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, I'm going.
What a fucking spoiler, Ray. I got the same update.
Damn it!
Trouble in my eyes. I'm just looking for another good